Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I do an at-home no chip or like gel manicure. So I invested in a kit about a year or two ago when I was away at school. I wanted to get a kit because I could save money, but I could do my nails at home without them chipping in like a day or two. So I've definitely gotten my money's worth. The whole kit with polish and a light and everything I believe is like under $50, but I'll link things up in the description box below. But one time going to the salon is like $25 or $30. So if you just use this twice, you'll honestly get your money back, and I think it's a good investment and really worth it. So before I get started with the tutorial, I've had a few requests to talk about professional nails on my blog and my channel as well. So I just thought I'd share my opinion on professional nails. Obviously, this is just my opinion. It's not like an end-all be-all, but I thought I'd share my thoughts with you. So I think the most important thing when it comes to professional nails is making sure that they're not chipped. So either you have them done and they look really clean and put together and neat, or if they start to chip, you just take them off and go bare nails. There's nothing wrong with having bare nails. You do not have to have polish on to look professional and put together. But I do think if your nails are chipped, that just doesn't necessarily give your best, put your best foot forward, I guess would be a good way to say it. It just kind of doesn't make you look as put together and polished as you can be. Also, with professional nails, a big question might be what colors are appropriate for work or for an interview or anything like that. And I think it's personal preference, but I personally lean towards more neutral colors. So I like to get nudes, I like to get light pinks, I like to get mauve colors, anything like that that doesn't really draw a lot of attention, I think looks really nice and put together, and also matches like any outfit. So French nails is always a good option. I personally like to have color on my nails, but I know like my mom literally always gets French, and she likes it because when it chips or if it is getting towards the end of your manicure, it's not quite as noticeable as if you have like a color on. So that's personal preference. I'd also say though, colors are okay. There's nothing wrong with wearing a color, and it's completely up to you if that's the route you want to go. In the wintertime, I like to do colors. I like to stick to deeper colors, maybe like a plum or a navy. I love to do red. I think it's just classic, a classic nail color, especially around the holidays. And in the summers, I like to do more of a pastel color. So I'll sometimes do like a very, very pastel purple or blue or something like that, just because it is a little more fun than a neutral color, but again, it's not so in your face. You're more than welcome to do a bright color. There's nothing wrong with that. It does just draw a little more attention. So going back to my first point, having your nails completely done and polished with no chips and everything would be a lot more important the more drastic your color is, if that makes sense. So it's completely up to you. I like to do brighter colors on my toes. I like when they match, but they don't have to match. And so that's kind of how I get my bright color fix if I don't want to do it on my nails. So that's just my opinion when it comes to professional nails. Like I said, there's no rule book, there's no guideline, it's whatever you want, but I just thought I'd share that with you. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how I do my at-home manicure. So there's a few tools you need. If you have a nail cutter, obviously that's a good one, a nail file, a cuticle cutter, and a buffer. So I always cut my nails, but not too short, just because the longer your nail is, the easier it is to paint. And then I file it to get the shape I want. If your nails aren't super long, you could just file them and skip cutting altogether. Next, I do my cuticles. So I try to do my own cuticles myself. I do sometimes get like hangnails, so I'll always make sure I trim those, but it's not necessary. And if it kind of intimidates you to do your own cuticles, you could skip this step. It's not necessary or anything like that. I think I just said necessary twice, but whatever. And then lastly is a buffer. So this is like an absolute must. I'm sure you could get it on Amazon, Walmart, Target, literally anywhere. I've had this for so long, I don't even know where it's from. But if you buff your nails, it really helps make sure they're smooth. It helps the polish go on better. And if you do skip your cuticles, it actually will kind of, if you have like a lot of cuticles, it'll kind of smooth them out, get some of the bigger pieces off, and then it'll make it easier for you to paint your nails. So if you don't have a buffer, definitely invest in a buffer. So now in terms of the equipment I use for like the polish and the light, I just have this little like on-the-go light. It's the brand Gelish. I believe it's from Sally Beauty, and this is only like $35 maybe. I'll see. I'll have to double check, but it's super inexpensive. And then I have a few different polish brands. So I have this brand Gelin. This is just off Amazon. It works really well. It comes with 6 different colors. And then this box is a little tore up, but I also have the brand YNS, also from Amazon, and then this one comes with a base and top coat. So the only thing is the nail polish bottles don't show the color because it's like a darker, like this one's all, actually I think they're both all black, but they're all black so you can't see the color. So what I do is I got like a little note card, not sure if you could see, but I added the color and the number that it corresponds to, so I don't have to open up every tube when I'm trying to pick a color. I just reference this. No chip nail polish doesn't dry the same as regular polish, so I'll actually cure the note card under the light. Not sure if you're supposed to do that, but I do. So I'm actually going to a client site next week, so I'm gonna do a neutral color. It's my first time meeting the client. I don't want my nails to be super flashy and in your face, so today I'm gonna be doing a gray, and then you also have your base and your top coat. So I'm gonna kind of talk you through how I do it, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, and then maybe add some tidbits in between, but that way I could speed it up and you guys could just watch in fast motion how I'm doing it versus watching me sit here and paint my nails. So it does only take about 20 or 30 minutes. It depends how much prep you do in terms of like filing and cuticles, but if you're strictly just painting, it takes a lot less time. So obviously first you put on your base coat and then you cure it in the light. Then you do your polish. I do 2 or 3 shades depending on how dark it is, and curing it after each coat. Not 2 or 3 shades, 2 or 3 coats, sorry about that. So 2 or 3 coats, and then I cure it after each coat. And then lastly, I'll do my top coat. And then after my top coat, I'll cure it maybe like 3 times, sometimes 4. Sometimes I lose count of how many times I've cured it, so I just do it extra, just because it really helps dry it. If you don't cure it long enough, you'll notice it's kind of tacky. So you want it to be completely dry to the touch, not sticky or anything like that, so I just cure it extra. Another tip is to do one hand at a time. So this has helped me tremendously, especially because you have to cure it in between. It gets kind of confusing what you've done, what you haven't. So if you do one hand at a time, it's really easy. Just focus, finish one hand, move on to the second, and it goes a lot faster. With that being said, I recommend doing your worst hand first, if that makes sense, unless you're ambidextrous. So like I'm right-handed, so I'll paint my right hand first just because my left hand isn't as good as my right hand, and so when I'm painting my right hand, it's a lot easier to make mistakes and things like that. So I'll start with that one and I'll focus a lot more just because I'm starting, and then on my second hand I could just like mindlessly do it because I'm a righty, and so it's just super quick and easy. And then last but not least, the trick to making your no chip stay on the maximum amount of time, and this is probably true of any polish, is you don't want it to be anywhere on your skin or your cuticles. That's why getting your cuticles sort of cleaned up helps a lot. But if it's only on your nail, it'll stay a lot longer. It's a lot less likely to peel or anything like that. So if you do, I mean, you're human, I'm human, I get it on my skin literally all the time, but maybe have something around where you could, or use your nail like they do at the salon, but just kind of like wipe it off the edge or anything like that, just so that when you cure it, it doesn't cure on your skin, and it'll be a lot easier. So again, any nail color, anything like that, it's completely personal preference. I don't think there's a rule book or anything like that, but those are just my opinions and kind of like what I like to stick to. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into the tutorial and sort of explain to you how I do an at-home manicure. Okay, so one hand is completely done. I'm not sure if you could tell, but one hand is done. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but I actually do all 4 nails at one time and then I do my thumb separate. That's just because I could put all 5 in, but I noticed when I did all 5 in there, I kept like hitting the back of it because this is just kind of like a mini travel size type of light. So I just do my 4 fingers and then my thumb, and even splitting it up like that, it still takes only like 20 or 30 minutes. So that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my second hand and then I'm almost done. I do want to mention, so the lighting, I'm not using a ring light or anything. I'm not like a huge YouTuber or anything like that, so I just use what I got, and I don't have a tripod, so if the camera is like shifting angles, sorry, that's just life. It was raining like 2 seconds ago. The lights are all out of whack, but hopefully you'll get the gist of how to do an at-home manicure. And I realize if I sit up too tall, my head gets cut off, but whatever, we're working with what we got. Okay, so I actually just picked up the camera to do a little more like vlog style to close this out. So I went ahead and did my right hand, or used my right hand to do my left hand off of camera. Again, sorry about any of the lighting or movement issues, anything like that. Like I said, I don't do YouTube full time, so we're just working with what we got, but I hope you guys were able to get the gist and it helped you. So after you're done, you could go ahead and file around the edges if you feel like you need to. It's not necessary, and then I'm gonna go ahead and show you a close-up, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned and enjoyed from this video, and I'll see you guys soon.